blog or do whatever you want to do with it. And this month we are focusing on branding and pricing. This is one of the serious areas that sometimes if you don't understand your value, you don't know your space, and you don't know your brand, you always become confused of what to do. So today is a special day, and let's all take our notebook, our notepad, anything, and you write your questions down. You just have to be ready for any kind of questions. We will be ready to answer them. So just write your questions down. And while the training is going on, when you check the down there, you can see the Q and A down there. You will type your questions there so that we will make sure we answer all the questions. And this training is going to be full of practical. Today we are focusing on Today we are focusing on branding only. Then tomorrow we focus on pricing. So all your questions, all your things you want to bring on board about branding, just put your questions down as we start. And I believe you are going to enjoy it. And our facilitator for today is very, very good. He's loaded, guys. I know our last training, a lot of you enjoy the first day and the second day. But today our speaker is loaded, and yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for him to take over and give us more than what we will be expecting today. So without wasting my time, I want us to do some small icebreaker, something small. So as we are creatives, and if I say just describe your brand or your style in one word as a creative, just type it in the chat and let's see. Just describe your brand or your style in one word. I want you to type it on the chat. Please, if you can hear me, I'm saying we are doing some small icebreaker before we start our training. So please type in one word, just one word to describe or to tell us your brand. Just one word. Or busy so word. Yeah, just one word to describe your brand. Yeah. Oh, guys, please, I'm waiting for you. If you can hear me, just say hi. Type hi for me. One word. Oh, please, one word to describe your brand. Oh, someone said, I don't even know my brand. Today, you know your brand. For example, okay, one way to describe the work you are doing, like how good you are, like what you are doing. Maybe you are so humble, you are creative. Oh, you can't hear me clear. Please increase your volume because I know I'm really speaking loud. Hello. Oh, guys, I need one or two people should give us something. Just one word to describe your brand. Oh, somebody say humble. This means your brand is very humble and is ready to accept all the client that will stress you. Oh, someone is saying creative. I like creative though. I like creative though. Confidence. Hey. Oh, okay, that's great. Confidence. That's great. Yeah. Oh, innovative. So all the time you apply different strategies. You bring some. Hey, someone is saying anointed. Creative in the anointing. Oh, okay. Let's go. Please drop. Let's go. Our facilitator is ready. So please, we have 1 minute. 1 minute. Just prepare yourself and let's share the link to our colleagues that we've started branding and pricing our class and it's online. We are also on YouTube. Date Media, we are streaming live on YouTube too. You can join that from there. Just share it. Oh, okay. Okay, so without wasting my time, our speaker is ready. I would like to share his profile again so that you will know much about it. But as it's going on, just drop one word that describe your brand. I'm still waiting for that. One word that describe your brand. I'm still waiting for that. Just drop one word that describe your brand. one word that describe your brand. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that we show the profile of our speaker. Yeah. Hey, I'm still waiting. Drop one word that describe your brand. Hey, someone says stress-free. Tell you there you want good clients only. That is good though. Yeah, no one wants to suffer. Yeah. Okay. So that is the profile of our speaker for today. Yeah, just 1 minute. This is the profile for our speaker today, and he's going to teach us a lot. Our team today, defining your brand, own your space. And I believe after this training, you understand your brand and you're going to own your space. That's when you are not being worried about what someone is doing because you know your brand and you know your long-term goals and your short-term goals towards your brand. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Then drop a handshake as we welcome our speaker, Mr. Richmond. Yeah, Mr. Richard, that is Dr. New Page. Oh, please draw a handshake. Oh, please handshake at the chat. Handshake. Let's welcome our speaker for today. Oh, a handshake. Let's go, let's go. Oh, are you ready for him? Please, let's go. Okay, Mr. Richard, you're welcome. Our
Yes,
people, they are waiting for you.
thank you so much, Dave. I'm trying to connect my camera here. It's trying to be a little bit.
Okay,
So,
okay.
uh,
So can we give you some time?
I can talk while I try to connect with, but yeah, for sure, give me some few minutes. And
Okay, okay. So guys, keep drawing. Yeah, yeah. Hello, guys. Yeah, please let's wait for Mr. Richard for some few minutes. So still, I'm waiting for one word to describe. And this time, I want you to tell me the reason why you are saying confidence is your word to describe your brand. Confidence. Does it mean you there you can stand over anybody or what? I want you to say something about the word you are using to describe. Obviously, or a visionary. Wow, that's great. I like that one too. Hello, guys. Please just drop one word, a word stress-free. The stress-free person there. I want to understand that one. Someone to say small, small. This means you have started small, small. That's so great. Small, small. Guys, I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Drop something, drop something. Okay, before we start, I want you to ask a question maybe you expect from the training. Just ask random question on the chat. Yeah. So go to the chat, ask a question about branding. I told you today we are focusing on branding. Today we are focusing on branding. So ask one question about branding. Or someone is asking what is a brand? Oh, that is good. We will answer that why the lesson is going on. Okay, originality. Okay, this is powerful word though. Uh-huh. I think the originality is a word that is describing someone's brand, and that's good. Oh, this means if your brand is originality, then hey, So give me random questions from the about branding. Any question you want to have. Someone said my brand gives a sense of confidence. Okay, so the confidence guy is explaining confidence. He said my brand gives a sense of confidence about that. About that, it communicates. Okay, that's fine. Yes. Oh, anyone? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to unmute all of you. I want only two people to talk. No. So raise your hand if you want to talk because I'm going to unmute you. Yeah. Just tell me, describe your brand with one word. Then why that? I know you people want to talk, so you let me give you. Okay, I think Mr. Richard is back.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, okay. So guys, we will continue that later. Please, you can take over.
Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful, Dave, for the invitation. And I commend your hard work putting this event together. I know it's not easy. And I connected with you a couple of weeks ago through one lady here. I think that was Danielle. And thank you for bringing the gap, Danielle. I went through your profile, the things you've been doing on Instagram, and I checked out your website. Man, you're doing some really good work out there. God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
sir.
And I am hopeful that in the next few months, you're going to explode and Ghana will see the good works that you have been doing so far. And it's a blessing to know you. And again, thank you everybody for joining us for today. When Dave invited me for this session, I asked myself the kind of questions that he was asking you. What is a brand? Why am I even doing this? And why does my brand exist as a person? And I'm glad that he took the chance or the opportunity to ask you, I mean, for you to give some questions that you want to ask today. And most of the questions that you were bringing on board are some of the things that we'll be addressing today. So I could say that we are all in one spirit, and I am hopeful that by the end of this discussion, we will be walking away with something tangible that will impact our brand as we move forward. I was preparing a presentation for a PowerPoint presentation for our conversation today. On a second thought, I was like, okay, why don't we have a conversation instead of a presentation? And I believe that's one thing. I like to have conversations with people so it doesn't
Wow.
become a one-way chat. Or I like to learn from you in as much as I also like to share what I know for the past 10 years in my journey as a brand and media strategist. So in course of the conversation, I should say, we will be dropping in some questions. I will be inviting you to also share your perspective on some things that you know and why some things exist. So please consider this as a one-on-one or a group conversation with all of us versus a presentation with a guy who knows about branding. I know very little about branding, and I believe that the little that you also know, we can all put it together and make something big out of it. So again, thank you for joining us. As he clearly mentioned, my name is Richard, and most people call me by my brand name, New Page. And I'll give you a brief history as to how my brand name came about as we engage further in the conversations. And before I moved to the United States, a couple of years ago, I was a graphic designer. I was doing mainly graphic design for multiple brands in Ghana. And mostly when they come to me or come to my agency for a brand overhaul, they mostly want either a logo design, they want a core card design, or they would want us to develop what we called the brand overview or the brand profile for their company. Thinking about it recently, I noticed that most people do consider branding as a one-time deliverable, more of something that you do once in a while or one time and that is done. So I considered back then, I used to think that branding was more about logo design, designing a letterhead, putting together your color palette, as we all may know. Use green, use blue, don't use this colors on our website. So when I moved to the United States and I met with this extraordinary brand professional who also doubles up as my mentor, who was also my professor back in my master's program. We had a brief conversation one day and we were just having a good time about brand management and brand strategy. He asked me what branding is, just as Date asked all of you what a brand is. So I gave him my thoughts, and I said, well, branding is the process of designing a logo and making sure the color palettes are together and everything is on point. He nodded his head as I'm doing now, and the conversation went on. And after a while, he came up with a statement or a quote that has stood with me for the past 7 to 8 years that I've been working with. He said that branding is more than a logo design. It's more than putting together your favorite colors that your audience may not necessarily even care about. He explained that branding is more of the things that your audience will gossip about when you are not in the room. The things that your people, the people that you connect with, the people that you are interacting with, after you have left them, the things that they say about you, that is branding. So after this conversation, after this interaction, after this session with Dave Media, when I leave you all and we ask you to say one or two things about the speaker, about the event, about the organizer, the things that you say about the entirety of the one who presented or the one who put together the event, that is branding. So that has stood with me for a very long time, even before my PhD program. I started working with some companies and nonprofit organizations here in the States. And every single year, I came to realize that that statement is true. But most organizations do not have an idea what branding is. All they care about is a good website, a good color palette, a good logo that you may not even care about, only for creatives. That sometimes they may ask their questions. Oh, okay, this is a great logo design. What's the story behind the logo? So today our discussion is going to be more of what a brand looks like, what the branding process looks like. And then afterwards, we will switch over to one of my favorite frameworks for developing your brand. My goal is that after this conversation, after this session, we will walk away being able to define our brand, being able to write our own brand statement, which most people do not have, or most companies do not have. And we walk away with something good today. So that's to say that I have prepared some notes, but I did not get to the PowerPoint presentation because I want this conversation to be very interactive and have your ideas as well. So if you don't mind, and if you are in a good position and you want to turn on your cameras, I would really appreciate that so I can put a face to the names that I'm seeing on the screen and we can have a good conversation. It's good for a phone call, but sometimes FaceTime on video calls are more impactful. So if you don't mind switching on your cameras, I would really appreciate before we move on. If you see me nodding my head or bending my head a little bit, that's because I have my phone in my hand and I'm referring to some notes that I made before this conversation. Okay, thank you. I see some people turning on their cameras. Thank you so much. If you are not able to, that's not much of a big deal or an issue. Okay, so Dave first asked us to put some keywords that reflect our brand. I saw some people putting in some good keywords. Dave, if you don't mind refreshing our memories on what some of the audience put in as their one word to describe their brands, I will appreciate and we can take it on from there.
Yeah, I think some people put in originality,
Originality,
then
okay.
confidence.
Confidence,
Yeah, small, and stress-free.
stress-free.
Yes, visionary.
Okay,
Excellent.
interesting.
Innovative. Yeah,
Okay,
these are some of the things. Humble, creative, anointed. Some
I
people are
see.
anointed here. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Dave, why don't you pick one of your favorites from the list that the audience submitted, and we can take it off from there.
Okay. I'll pick innovative. Innovative.
Innovative. Okay. So innovative. Do we know who put in innovative as a one-word statement for their brand? Dave, do you know who typed in that
Yeah,
word?
I to the person.
You don't know the person?
I think some of them are not using their names.
Oh,
Like,
okay. All right, not a problem. Okay. I see a comment in the I see a chat in the comments. Dave, can you bring that up for me so we know if it's related to the question I just asked?
okay. Sure. Oh, okay. That's the chat bar. I don't know whether if the person is here. Show your hand if you are here.
Okay, someone said I did. My screen is very far from me, so I'm not able to see the names. Um,
Oh, okay. The person is here, so I can allow the person to talk if you're okay with that.
yes, that's perfect. Yeah, you can unmute the person. Okay,
Okay.
innovative.
Innovative. Please, you can talk.
Okay, innovative. So, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, your brand, and why innovative seems to stand out for you and your brand? That would be the stepping stone for us to begin our conversation today.
Okay, my name is David. My brand is DCA Video. So I sort of innovative is like how do I call it? Like it puts myself on the map. Not like where people would say my brand is this or that. My brand is to innovate, to make a change. You know what I'm saying? So my brand, changes the perspective of what people see instead of what is the normal perspective. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said innovative.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I believe innovative stands out, especially in the area of creativity. If you're not innovative, you won't be able to give your clients or, yes, your clients a good offering. So let's build on from there. Okay. So as I mentioned, branding is a process. It's not a one-time deliverable or innovative deliverable that you offer your client. It's not a one-time logo design for your clients. When people come to me to design a logo for them, that tells me that they are not strongly branded yet, unless they are doing a logo redesign. So when people come to me, Richard, I like to design a logo. I ask them, who are you? What do you do? And why should your people care? So these three questions, who you are, what you do, and what you want people to do about it, or why should people care about the things that you do, that defines your brand. So let's take it up from the very top. So since branding is a process, there are some step-by-step key foundations that encapsulate the entirety of your brand. The first is your brand identity. Your brand identity. As we may know, your brand name, let's put it that way, your brand name. There are some companies like FedEx. There are some companies in Ghana. It's been like MTN. Yeah, that's very common to everybody. MTN. So MTN is the brand name. So when you think of their brand identity, it is what people associate MTN with, the name that people associate that telecommunication company with. So your brand identity goes beyond just the logo, the color palette. That's what most creatives know. But the brand identity simply is the brand name. So when you are choosing your brand identity, think about something that is meaningful, something that really people can memorize, something that rings a bell in the ears of people. And that takes me back to the promise I made you at the beginning of this conversation that I'll tell you a brief history about my brand name, New Page. So if you think about new page, it's simply two words, the word new and then page. So page comes from a book. A book is something that people can easily relate with. It's something that people can easily memorize. It means a lot of things to people. So a page from a book, and then there's something new. So there is new page. So it's for me, at least from my perspective, in a little survey that I conducted recently, it's easy for people to memorize. easy for people to guess or to even think about the fact that what does this name mean? And here's the brief history. I come from a Christian-oriented background. So when it was time for me to give or get a brand name for myself and also for my agency, I thought about something that is one, Christian oriented, because it should be something that is, again, meaningful to me and my audience. My audience, as at that time, were mostly Christian oriented brands like Men of God, churches, and then Christian oriented companies. So I wanted something that resonates with them and then also establish my belief systems. So new page comes from the scripture 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. He's a new creation. If any man be in Christ, he's a new creation. That is where I get the new from. Then the old things have passed. Behold, the new things have come. That is there. So we take another step further to the book of Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. It said, he that sat on the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said, write, for these words are true and faithful. So I asked myself, if I am writing, then I'm definitely writing on a book, in a book, sorry. Then if I'm writing in a book, then books are made of pages. Okay, so connecting these two scriptures, 2 Corinthians 5:17 and Revelation 21:5, then let me get this word called new page. That is where I built the brand name from, new page, because one, I wanted something that is meaningful to me and then also to my clients. So here's my perspective. If any client comes to me, my brand promise, which I would explain later, my brand promise to them is that you have to experience something new. We'd have to flip you to a new page of creativity. We'd have to flip you to a new page of advancement. So all the things that you have been doing in the past, if it was not working for you, as long as you come into contact with my brand, we would have to give you innovative, fresh innovations, new innovations on a new page. So let's close the chapter on what you had been doing before you met me. Now, let's discuss something new. And that is how come we got the name New Page. So your brand identity, which is one key element of the branding process, should one be something that is simple, meaningful, and your audience can easily remember. I believe that after here, or maybe years to come, if you see a book or if you see anything new, you might remember or recollect that there was a guy called New Page. There was a brand called New Page. Okay, so let's move on to the second aspect of the branding process, which is your brand promise. So after your brand identity or your brand name, then comes your brand promise. Your brand promise is what you want to give people. It's your guaranteed experience. The things that when people come into contact with you, it's a surety that they are going to walk away with. The experience that is guaranteed when people come into contact with your brand is called your brand promise. The experience that I anticipate to have when I book Date Media to cover photos for my event or to do anything creative or design a graphic for me, that is their brand promise. So someone said stress-free. I was very lean towards that frame, or I was lean towards that keyword. Maybe the person thought they were just bringing in something. Maybe they have a deeper understanding on it, but it's a very good phrase to capture your entire brand promise. Stress-free for your clients. So if you are working with us, your experience will be stress-free. We are going to reply to your messages or your email within a 24-hour time frame or 2-hour time frame. It's all part of the branding. We are going to give you an experience that you, the client, would not have to stress about anything. All you need to do is tell us what you want to do, and then we are going to give you what you want to do with no stress. So the brand promise here is stress-free. So my brand promise, I have come to know, is that when you come into contact with us, you are going to be flipped to a new page. So most times people use their brand promise or the summary or the shortened versions of their brand promise as their tagline. So mostly, I don't really remember the MTN slogan or their tagline. Can someone recall or let us know what the tagline for MTN is?
I think everywhere you go.
Where you go?
Everywhere you
Yeah.
go, yes. So that is their promise to you. Everywhere you go, you are going to have a connection. Everywhere you go, you're going to have access to our network. So then, it is their promise to you. It is their promise to their users. It is their promise to anybody who signs up for mobile money or for any of their services. Everywhere you go, you will be able to access their services. Okay, so now let me bring you down. I know I mentioned flip to a new page as one of my brand promises, but then the outstanding one has always been making all things new. So if
Yeah.
you come to us and you would come to us as a client and you want something from us, our promise to you is that before you walk away, we have given you a fresh new perspective of something that you probably didn't think about. It is the same way of saying innovative, as our brother shared some few minutes ago. So we are innovative. Everybody is saying innovative, but how can I be innovative not to say innovative? So then let's be a little bit creative, making all things new, making your finances new, giving your brand a new perspective. So that is my brand promise. So let's take it from the top. The branding process, one, in no order, there's the brand identity, there is the brand promise. Your brand identity is simply your name, and it should be meaningful. It should be something that you can easily remember or your audience can easily remember. And then two, it should be something that means something to you. It can be historic. It can be anything that means anything to you or your audience that they can resonate with. And then two, your brand promise is your guaranteed experience. It is not about you. It is about your audience or your target audience. Do we have any questions up until this point? Then we can move on to the next aspect of the branding process. Comments, feedback, questions. Please feel free to unmute to share your perspective, then we can move on.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so how does one create a name that nobody has used yet or something that is not on the market? Because I feel like when someone wants to create a name, there will be at least someone that has used that name already. How does one go about that?
I'm so sorry I didn't hear you.
I'm trying to hear him.
Okay, I'm so sorry I didn't hear you. If you can take that
You
again
can
for us.
type it. It's fine. If you can type it, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So
And
I
while
think,
Mhm.
yeah, I
Go
think you
ahead,
should
sorry.
type.
Okay.
So this is so powerful. I'm really enjoying the class. I know you guys too are enjoying. Yeah, yeah. And I like what narrates your brand and what, oh, some people are talking, coming. What narrates your brand and what is bringing your brand. Let me just fix this in. I'm known to be Date Media or Mr. Date. Date came from a word, David Tete. That's my full name,
Okay.
DLATE. But I really have reasons that back, apart from it being my name. So, for example, I said, oh, I'm Date Media. It can't be just the name. What's the reason behind it? For example, maybe let me show you one reason. Maybe today is 16th. Today is 16th of September 2025. Today's date is that. So if not today's date, we don't know where we are right now.
Right.
Yeah. So date is like holding the entire world because without knowing that we are in 2025, we will be confused ourselves. We don't know where we are. So one of my purpose of the name date. For example, another purpose can be, oh, maybe I have a girlfriend. He said, today I want to go a date with you. The moment I mention I want to go a date with you, what comes to the lady's mind or the guy's mind? Hey, do I have a new dress? Should I do makeups? So it looks like the word date becomes so special and essential in any moment we find itself. So that's back attack to the name I'm using as my brand.
Yeah.
Please I'll continue because of time. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I didn't think about it that way. I only thought about it from the perspective that it was your name that was shortened, but date, going on a date. Okay. Thank you. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I think
Do you have the
the
question
person
ready?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, like, what if you have made your brand name, but someone else is already has made has that name? Like, even if you think no one has it, but there will be that that one person that has it. How do you how do you create that unique name that no one else has used? I think it's
Right.
very important. I have an example. It wasn't the same name, but I have somebody called Sunshot. And one of my guys I was training said it's called uh, something something short. It was like sounding similar to the other brand, which
Mm,
became another issue between them because they were in the same UCC environment here. So
okay.
please answer this question for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That's that's an interesting question, and most
Yeah,
people struggle with that as well. Personally, I had an experience with that, but because of time, I will leave that hanging for now. Let's think about it this way. There's nothing new under the sun.
yeah,
No matter how innovative or creative we are, there is nothing new under the sun. My background with respect to how my brand name came about, when I went online to check, I saw that someone had the name New Page on
oh,
there,
okay.
who was in the United States or somewhere in the world apart from Ghana. So here's how I differentiated my brand from theirs. One, the story behind may not always be the same. The story behind your brand name and someone else's brand name is entirely different. As much as you can, you want to stand out. But if this is something that you built, you built from scratch, it came to you and you're able to bring it out. I don't see the reason why you can't use anything that you have originally created. It may coincide with someone else's, but I don't think, just like I'm called Richard, there are other people called Richard, 1,000 or 1 million other Riches in
Yeah,
the world. But what makes me different? What can make your brand name different? That is where your logo comes in. That is where your color palette comes in. So they are all part of the things that you can do to make your brand stand out. And I sometimes even how you spell it, how you arrange the letters. So the new page that I saw, there was a space between the new and the page, but my new page is just a one word, even though it's two words merged into one. It's new page. It's just one word, but their name or their brand name was two words, new and then page. So those little tricks, sometimes you can even bolden or capitalize one of the letters in your brand name to stand out. There can be another MTN somewhere, but the way MTN is spelled out, the way so it's a lot of other there are a lot of other things that you can do to make your brand name stand out when there is an overlap with someone else's. Just like despite is a word. So despite
yeah,
media. So nobody even thought about the name despite.
yeah,
But
yeah,
despite is a common word that everybody use. So maybe despite media, someone can say despite creative, date training, date. What was your name again? Your brand name again? Date
So we have
Academy.
Date Media and we have Date Creative Academy.
Okay, so date media. And if let's say someone else wants to come up with a name that has to do with date,
Yeah,
rather than saying date media, I can say date creative. That way you have differentiated yourself from date media. So the name
yeah.
that I saw back then was I think it was New Page Print. Yeah, it was New Page Print.
Oh,
Back then
okay.
when it was New Page Print, they do high quality printing in the I believe it's in the United States. Yeah. But then I started with New Page Magazine. Then it came with New Page Hype. It came with New Page, all the fun stuff that you can think about. So when you are building your brand name and then it coincides with someone else's, don't throw away your name when it's coming from an original place where you spend time to create it yourself. So that would be my simple answer. Don't let it go. Find a way to make it innovative and stand out from other people's.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, thank you very much. Let me add something small. When in Ghana here, or for example, okay, I know every country you have to, for the long-term goals, you have to register your brand. For
Yeah.
example, when you go to GRA, I have my brand, but I don't have Date Creative Academy, I have Date Media that I've registered under it. So as you branding yourself, we don't only think about short-term goals, we think about long-term goals. You are
Mm-hmm.
going to register the same brand. Is it going to be in the system that you have? I remember when I was going to register Date Media GRA because of some contract that I have to take then. I saw it was a bit complicated because some names were there and it was sounding the same. So my little advice is it's very good. You can modify it. You can. So I remember in GRA, I'm using David Tete Multimedia instead of Date Media because I'm using the Date Media under it. So David Tete Multimedia, that's shorten it, Date Media. So you have to think about long-term goals, make your plan towards it so that it doesn't affect you because you can build a brand for like 5 years, you didn't register it. Now you're going to register it and it changed everything. And because of that, I lost some check and other stuff that I have to re-go and do for like 3 months before I get my money back. So that's a little I'll add it. Thank you.
All right, sure. Was your question answered? I didn't check the name. If you can confirm if we answered your question. Okay, I believe so. Let's move on. So still on the brand name, there is something called a mother brand, and there are sub brands. So when the time came for me to come up with a name for my brand, as at that time, this was about 12 years ago, I had no idea it was going to transform into something as huge as it does look now. So it started with New Page Magazine, as I mentioned. So there is New Page Magazine, New Page Hype, New Page Photography, New Page Podcast, all those fun stuff. But then it's still under one. So when you are coming up with your brand name, think of the future. What can you be adding to it? Maintain that one word or maintain that one name that you can keep adding to your name so that you can create multiple brands as you move forward because you may never know how things are going to evolve. All right. So we have talked about your brand identity. We've talked about your brand promise. Now let's talk about your brand value. And this is where, again, the question that our brother asked would also come into play. Your brand value. There are two Date Media Academies. There are two New Page media agencies. What differentiates these two agencies or any overlapping brand names is the brand value. But brand value, I mean to say the unique value proposition. So your brand value, consider your brand value as the unique value proposition. What makes you unique? If we are all serving the same target audience, what makes your brand unique to them? Why would they book you? Why would they invest in you? Why would a company or an organization hire you to do the things that you say you do for them? So those are your unique value propositions that makes you highly competitive with your other people in the same industry. So if you are both videographers who shoot wedding films, if you are both podcast producers who produce meaningful podcasts for nonprofit organizations, what makes you stand out can be the fact that there is a 24-hour turnaround for your productions. The moment you produce your podcast, in the next 24 hours, you are delivering the produced episode to your client. That can be your unique value proposition. Another one can be the fact that it's stress-free. You do not want to stress your audience. You're going to
Yeah.
take care of the setup. You will take care of the audio production. All your audience, all your client needs to do is to come and sit down and talk. After that, they go home. no stress for them. So your unique value proposition can be stress-free. And most times, the unique value propositions overlap with your brand promise. And most companies use this, or most brands use this as part of their slogan or their taglines, which is attached to their logo. You can have several unique UVPs. By UVPs, I mean unique value propositions for your brand. There's nothing wrong with that. But your brand promise can also overlap with that. So again, just as a refresher, I'm trying to build a point, the very last one, then we can conclude. We've talked about your brand identity. We've talked about your unique value proposition, that's your brand value. We've talked about your brand promise. Okay. And we've also talked about, okay, now let's move on to your brand purpose. Your brand purpose simply defines your purpose of existence. Why your brand exists. Why should people care about you, about your brand? What do you stand to do? That is your mission and your vision, your purpose as a brand. Just as we as human beings, we have our purpose here on earth. Your brand should also have a purpose. Who are they serving and why are they doing the things that they do? Remember, all companies or organizations, they have their mission and vision statement. And so you should also have your own brand purpose. That is the why we exist. So the brand identity answers the question who you are. And then your brand purpose answers the question what you do or why you exist. The next point that I want us to talk about is our brand story. What is the story behind your brand? Why are you doing the things that you do? What inspires you to do the things that you do? If I tell you the story behind why a new page was formed, you'll find it more interesting to engage with me more than when you don't even know about it. So you as a person, you should know how to tell your brand story. And I will give you a brief framework. I will explain briefly at the latter part of this conversation, a framework that you can use to tell your brand story. And that's the ABT statement, ABT framework, sorry. I will jump into that in a couple of minutes. For the sake of time, I'm trying to run through quickly so that we can have more time to engage and ask questions. And so let's move on to your brand strategy. And this is where most people or most creatives do not pay attention to. What is your strategy to engage with your audience so that your brand can stand the test of time and live long? How do you enter the market? How do you plan to sustain your brand for a period of 10 years? So there's always a strategy. So if your strategy is the fact that you are going to be visible on social media platforms, work on that. If your strategy is to be in the face of the client at every event, you can work on that. There are several other ways that you can do that. But then here are just some key examples. So your strategy defines how you are going to enter the market and then sustain your operations over time. And your strategy is something that is dynamic. Your brand strategy is dynamic. It should not be a one-time thing. As the days go by, as the year progresses, as the clock ticks, new innovations are coming in, new things are coming in. It used to be Facebook back then, only Facebook, but then it came with Instagram. Now we have TikTok and several other social media platforms. And the strategy now is that most people or most brands are using visual storytelling to engage with their audience. By visual storytelling, I mean videos to engage with their audience. But if you only used words and pictures back then, that was Facebook. But now our Gen Z generation prefers TikTok more than Facebook. So your strategy should be dynamic and you should not be rigid. So as the years go by, pay attention to what is going on. Pay attention to what your clients want. If your client wanted just a business card 10 years ago, right now, they might not even need it anymore. They might want a digital media card that you can just scan your phone and then you can have your contact details. If your clients used to have flyers as a way of marketing their experiences, as a way of marketing their services. Now there's social media. come up with a creative and innovative means of putting them out there. So your brand strategy should be, again, dynamic. It should not be rigid, and you can revise it as long as the days go by. So have a plan to be strategic with your brand as the days go by. The next point of discussion is our brand statement, and that will be our workshop for today, your brand statement. So now you know what your brand name is, you know what your brand promise, your brand value, your brand strategy, your unique value propositions, and all those fun stuff are. Now comes your brand. Now comes your brand statement. How do we put all these things in one statement so that when someone looks at our brand, they can walk away with one statement? Remember, people's attention span on social media, on any media platform, is not that great these days. They have very short attention spans, sometimes 3 seconds, 5 seconds on your website, and they log off. The bounce rate on a lot of websites, the time on site for a lot of websites now is very minimal. People spend, unless they are looking for very specific information, they don't spend a lot of time on a website. They just want to see some key things and then they are off. So you want to be able to bring all these elements in one statement. And I believe it is my hope that by the end of this conversation, we'll be able to write our own brand statement and we can walk away from this meeting with one key thing and many other things. That's okay. After coming for the Date Creative Media Academy, I was able to define and write my brand statement. So your brand statement, again, it's a mix of all the things that we've talked about. It's a mix of your brand name, your brand value, your brand purpose, your unique value propositions, and all those fun stuff. So how do you write your brand statement? Consider your brand as a story or a film that you are telling. Consider your brand as a story that you are telling. If I went to school and came back home after school, that's a short story. I went to school this morning. On my way to school, I missed the bus. When I missed the bus, I met an Uber driver who was going my direction and decided to take me to school. When I got to school, we had a great time. Class was great. I hung out with my friends during break time and I came back home. This time, I did not miss the bus. So I came back home on time. That's a story. The first story was very straightforward. The second story gave you details. How I tell a story will be different from how Date would tell a story. It will be different from how anybody else will tell their story. You can tell the story from end to beginning. You can tell a story from beginning to end. That's how come when you watch Nollywood or Ghanaian movies or any other movie, they can sometimes start from the beginning, and that's great. And other times they can start from the end. Then they will write 28 years ago. That's a flashback.
Yeah.
So storytelling is completely different for anyone who wants to do anything. And the way you tell your story, the way you tell your brand story is critical to how audience are going to perceive you. So your brand statement helps you put your story out there in a simple statement so that your audience can remember you for it. Your prospective customers can associate with it and they know what you are about. And that is what a lot of companies and brands call our mission, our vision, our strategic pillars, and all those fun stuff are merged up into your brand statement. So now that we have the foundation of what a brand statement is, let's move on to how we can develop our brand statement. Your brand statement development process comes from one framework, as I have identified for the past few years. ABT framework. Letter A, letter B, letter T. ABT framework. Anybody heard of this framework before? Okay, not a problem. So your ABT statement is simply an acronym, ABT, and A-N-D. Then the B is for but, and T, therefore, and but, therefore, framework. And but, therefore, framework. So when you are creating your brand statement, you'd want to agree with your clients, with your prospective audience on their problem. You have to stand in agreement with them. And you stand in agreement with them by introducing the word and. So let me share with you let me use my brand statement as an example just to illustrate the ABT framework. Companies are looking for podcasts as a way, companies are looking for podcast production services as a way to amplify their voice. My target audience, my target clients are nonprofits. So if I'm writing my brand statement, I would want to include them in my brand statement. So if I'm to rephrase that, I can say that nonprofit organizations are looking for podcasts to connect with their brands, to connect with their audience. That way I have agreed with them. I agree with them that, so the statement of agreement is the fact that nonprofit organizations are looking for podcast production services. And so this is where it gets interesting. Let me actually read from my statement so I don't miss a thing. And podcasts are one way that we can connect with other people. So I have agreed that nonprofits are looking for a way to connect with their audience. And podcasts are a way for nonprofits to connect with their audience. Okay, so 2. But many organizations lack the expertise. They lack the technical know-how to produce effective podcasts for their clients. Again, taking it from the top, nonprofit organizations are looking for podcast production services. And podcast production is a way that brands can easily connect with their audience. So then, why? Therefore, we exist as therefore we exist as a podcast production service company to produce podcast services for nonprofit organizations. And to make it even more nice and direct, I have phrased it in a way that anybody can just take it out and then rephrase it in their own. So I'm going to read directly from mine and then we can discuss from there. So here's my ABT statement. Nonprofits have powerful stories to tell, and podcasts are one of the most engaging ways to reach supporters and inspire action. But many organizations lack the time, tools, or expertise to create high-quality podcasts that truly capture their mission. Therefore, we partner with nonprofits to produce professional story-driven podcasts that amplify their voices, deepen audience connection, and spark lasting impact. That is my brand statement. So if I share this with you, you realize that there is a statement of agreement, there is a statement of contradiction, which is the but. Usually the word but is used to contradict when you are writing statements. And then there is the therefore, that's the conclusion, what you stand to offer. So when you are considering your entire branding process, after knowing what you are about, what you do, who you are, and why should people care about your brand, you need your brand statement. Your brand statement, you look at it every day and it empowers you to do the things that you say you are going to do. It helps you even look out for your clients even more. It's not long, it's very short and brief. It brings into action, into one place, who your audience are or who your target clients are, what you intend to do for them, and the problem you are solving if they book you to do anything for them. That is your ABT statement. and but. Therefore, you can read more about it. There are lots of materials out there that you can engage with to be able to write your own ABT statement. But then um, at the end of this production or discussion, it is my hope that you walk away being able to write your own ABT statement. And this is where I pause for us to have a discussion, comments, reactions, questions. Then we can turn it over to Date to conclude for us for today. So again, to recap, we've talked about the branding process, brand identity, all the way to your brand promise, your brand target audience, and then also your brand promise. And we've moved on to your ABT statement, which sums up the entirety of your existence. Okay, questions, feedback, comments, what you've learned so far, and what you intend to do from here.
Wow, thank you. Please, if you can talk, you can put your questions in the Q&A instead of the chat so that it will not confuse us. When you go to the down there, you can see Q&A, questions and answers there. Please, let's put our questions and answers, our questions there so that we can answer it for you. Yeah, so please, we are waiting. Okay, let me add up a little. Thank you, Mr. Richard. God bless you. I've learned a lot. Your identity, your promise, your brand, your value, your purpose, your story. So I'll just say a little from this side that what story are you telling? What are you known for? There are people that I know this one will let a lot of people bring a lot of questions that there are people known for everything. Wedding photographer, program photographer, church photographer, portraits, a lot. Then there are people known to be graphic designer, 3D. Yeah, creatives, what are you known for? I'm not saying, maybe if you know, you've heard about Amazing Clef. Amazing Clef is known to be maybe branding and those things. But when it doesn't mean Amazing Clef doesn't shoot wedding once a time from his beginning. But he never projects it. Doesn't mean he doesn't like it. So your brand, your story tell us what your brand is, how your brand is identified. So I like whatever he said, brand identity, your story. How are you being seen? What is your space? Where are you? It's like they are doing, when you think this space is very good, then you go there. When you think this space is very good, then you go there. What's your plan? I know this will bring a lot of questions. So guys, bring your questions then. Mr. Richard will answer them for us. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Richard, if you want to add more before they will bring their questions.
I think there's a question in the chat if you would want to.
He said, I need a little more clarification on master brand identified, another identity that you're saying, identify and the sub brand. So I think we were talking about, I think it was
Mother brands and how to create.
yes. So
Yeah.
it was about mother brand. So maybe
Okay.
if you can clear that for him or her.
Okay. All right. Just like you mentioned, there is this guy that you mentioned in a couple of minutes ago, a few seconds ago, that he's known for a lot of other things, but he's known for just one. Jack of all trades, master of all. That's how I see it. So if I am developing my brand from scratch, and I know that I'm going to use the word new page, and I'm in the creative space, I'm limiting, like I said, I started off as a magazine publisher. So we were known for magazine publications way back in 2013, New Page Magazine. That's what people knew us for. But as time went on, we added event production services. We added full service agency support for hotels and other non-profit brands. So our mother brand was New Page.
Okay.
And our sub brands, New Page Magazine, New Page Hype, New Page Photography, New Page Podcast. So the word New Page is constant. It's there. It's constant. The name new page doesn't change. What is being added is the various aspects or services. Think of it as a business conglomerate. There is this huge business, just like let's say Despite. It's a huge business. He's known for this specific thing. But there's the Despite Group Multimedia. There are a lot of other things that he does. Uh, all the way to where he produces, is it this coffee, Carber coffee or something? I don't remember.
Or something this way.
This way, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's use a very good other example, Coca-Cola, or even Fan Milk. There's
Yeah.
Fan Choco, there's Fandango, there is
Fandango.
so the word fun is always there. It's always constant. That is their mother brand, so to speak. That is their mother brand, so to speak. And then they keep adding several other aspects of the beverage production service to the name or the brand. So again, to answer your question, think of it as one name that is going to stand, that is constant. And then you can keep adding if you plan to expand your business as the days go by. So that'll be my brief response to your question, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. So if I say I have Date Media, Date Media is the mother, but I have Date Creative Academy. So the academy came from the media. So it's like when I just want to add up when the sub becomes like is something related to the main one. So when we are using FanMock, you can see Fandango, everything. It's not like the reason is starting with fun, but things that is about it is related and works together for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little. Maybe let me ask this question for them. If I want to consider starting my own brand, I have the talent. I'm very creative, but I don't know my brand. I don't know which one I should go to. For example, uh, I'm a graphic designer, photography, I do videography, I do this, but I want to master on a brand. I want to say, oh, I am known for this. What should I do?
I'm glad you asked that you want to be known for this, not these.
Yeah.
You want to be known for this specific thing. So
Yeah.
with all these things that you can do, which one can you do best? They wake you up in the morning at 5 a.m. and they put these options on the table. Which one would you resonate more with? There are lots of other things that I can do. If you wake me up in the morning to give a presentation on anything that has to do with creativity, it's broad. Which aspect of creativity would I want to talk about without preparing notes, without a PowerPoint presentation? And these things are inherent. It's where your interest is. So even though Coca-Cola is known for Fanta and Sprite, you know the Coke product is something that they market a lot. It's where their attention is. It doesn't mean the other products are not as great as the Coke product, but Coca-Cola is known for Coke. If I say Coca-Cola, what comes to your mind is not Fanta, it's the Coke product, but the Coca-Cola is the name of the company. The Coke is a product, Fanta is a product, Sprite is a product, but you don't think of Sprite when I mention Coca-Cola. Your attention goes to Coca-Cola, the Coke from scratch. So what you want to do is that which of these things that you can do, can you, as a creative, can you do all by yourself if you didn't have any help?
Any help? Yeah.
Remember the creative industry. Let's say you are a video producer. There is After Effects. There is the effects part. There is a production part. There is a sequence part. If you can do all these things without an external help, you can start off from there. But if you want to shoot a wedding and have someone edit for you, I won't say you're a master at that. You need, there are several ways to answer this question just for like illustrative purposes.
Yeah.
So what do you find fulfillment with? What can you do with ease that can bring you money? Let's not forget the fact that there is the financial aspect of this whole creativity thing. That is what the conversation for tomorrow with our amazing speaker will be touching on. So after all these things, you want to make money with your brand. You want to make good money with your brand. So the things that you know you can make money from, that is in high demand. That is the one that you want to highlight on, that you can do best. That is what you want to. So if you go on my profile, you can check, you can check richardamakon.com. You will see pictures, you will see visuals, you see videos. But if I'm marketing myself, I don't go to the corporate world marketing myself as a photographer. No, I go to them marketing myself as a digital production guy, as a digital communication specialist. Branding or creativity or video or photos is part of communication. So if you come on my professional website, I am known as a communication manager or a communication expert. But if you come on social media, you hardly hear me talk about communication. I only talk about videos and Christian stuff and all those. So just know what you can do best, know which one can fetch you money, know who your audience is. If I'm marketing to bridesmaids at a wedding, I'm not going to market to a bridesmaid at a wedding who is not married. I'm not going to market other aspects like a podcast or something. Fine, there's a potential, but those ones are more likely to embrace the idea of wedding photography or videography than other aspects of my business as a brand. So one, know who your audience is, know what they want, and overall know what you can do best with ease without any external help. So that when there's no one to help you finish the project, you can do it by yourself. And once you find fulfillment in that, you have found the top aspect of your brand services. Dave, there are several other questions in the chat if you want to take a look at that.
Yeah. So someone is asking, how does someone comes up with a tagline or slogan for their brand? Yeah.
So it comes, I think we talked about this from scratch,
Yeah.
your brand identity, your brand purpose, and all those fun stuff. So it all comes, let me make reference to my notes. So I'm saying the correct things to you. Yeah, your brand promise. Your brand promise. So that is what helps you formulate your tagline. Your brand promise is what you stand to offer, your guaranteed experience. Someone said stress-free. So when you look at your brand, when you do your brand assessment, you see where you're going, what you can do best, and offer your target audience. That would help you formulate your tagline. So express delivery within 24 hours. Can you really do that? That is your brand promise. If you can do that, then that can be your tagline. So your tagline is not something that only you make meaning of, but something that your audience or your target market would appreciate, that they would want to book you for their service. So let's say inspired creativity. Inspired creativity is your tagline. Okay, it means something to you, but does it mean something to your audience? Are they going to understand that from the first look at your brand? So to simplify the response, your brand tagline comes from your brand promise. So your brand promise is the guaranteed experience that you anticipate to give your target audience when they book you for any of your services that you offer.
Yeah. Let's pick this question. I'll say hello, please. My question is, if you start the beginning, like if you are starting building from scratch as a beginner, what are some of the things you will do and not do? Like maybe you're a beginner, you are starting your own brand now, or what's the advice that as a beginner you have to do and you don't have to do?
Okay.
Okay, maybe I can talk. No, you start.
No, you go ahead, sir. I'll jump in.
Oh, okay. So this beginner thing is not just easy though, but some of us has done a little sacrifice, connections, collaborations. It's so as a beginner, look to yourself, what is your long-term goals and what's your short-term goals? The reason I always mention that is you can't just start a brand. Don't just be a mere photographer or graphic designer. If you start thinking about short-term goals, long-term goals, planning for the future. That makes you who your brand will become in the future. So the little I can say, maybe if you are starting, you just have to be open to learn. Some people will always be like, me, I know. Okay, let me learn from you too. Some of us, we were open to learn, and we are still open to learn. Be so humble than everything. Try to learn. And money is very important. But if you are starting your brand, then your focus become huge. I remember when I was starting dating media, my focus was learning a skill to help God. So when I go to church, I was like, I can't play keyboard. I wish I can play keyboard. What can I do to help God? And I was very good with IT skills. So the church, no one is shooting. Some people are shooting, but there's nothing. What can I do to help God? So normally I say, okay, then me too, I can quit. I can learn something skills, media skills, then I'll come and help the work of God. And through that, it built me for my own brand. It helps me become who I want to become. So put yourself in an area you can learn. You can pay money to learn, but forget about the money for now if you are starting. I know money is very important, but open to learn and ignore money. Kaka. Yeah, that's a little I can say. Maybe you can add.
Okay, so what I would do and wouldn't do if I was to start from scratch. And Dave, I like that you mentioned that you ask yourself some questions. What can I do? Okay, so from a biblical perspective, I would say write the vision down, make it plain. Write the vision down, make it plain. Once you get the idea to work on your brand, write it down. I used to have this big book. I still have it. I call it my book of ideas. I got it in 2013. I started writing everything down. Whatever idea that I get about my brand, I get it down. I write it down. And I was reading or going through recently, and the things that I used to write down, I realized that I have done them. So back then, I didn't even know what I was writing. It's like, okay, to establish a media agency that does ABC to this kind of people. And in the next 5, 10 years, there should be this number of companies or sub brands added to my mother brand. And it has evolved as I had written it down. So my advice or my experience that I can share is that once you get the desire to build your brand from scratch, write it down. And it will amaze you what 20 years from now you can go back. There's always a reference point.
Yeah, reference points.
If you do not have a reference point, then so if you give me a pencil to draw on a sheet of paper, I tell you what, the only thing that I can draw is a flower and a table. Those are the only two things that I can draw. Those are the only two things that I can draw. So I said to myself, what if there was a software to design or to draw things? That's how I learned Photoshop. That was just a brief story. And afterwards, I kept designing and designing, and now I can do designs. If you give me a graphic design project, hardly would I take a pen or a pencil to illustrate my ideas on a paper before it comes to the computer. Everything is in my head. I just go directly to the computer. But if I had the ability to draw, the ability to illustrate on a piece of paper, I would do that. Most creatives like brainstorming. They brainstorm every single aspect of their ideas. They design the logo on a paper before they transfer it to the computer. I do not do that because I don't have the ability. I don't know how to draw with a pencil or a pen. I can only draw on a computer screen. So just to say that if you have an idea or a vision or anything, write it down. Write the vision down. Make it plain. And then as the times go by, come back to it. Write it down again. Look at what you have done in the past few years, in the past few months. Your goals that you set for yourself, have you been able to achieve those goals and objectives? And again, You can set as many goals as you want, but be smart about your goals. We all know what smart goals are. That's not the focus of discussion for today. But then again, if I were to go back in time, what I did was that I wrote every single thing down, and it helped me. One thing that I didn't do much was mentorship from the beginning. I remember that I had this man, if anybody knows him, Randy Impact Osabediako. He was the publisher for Caris magazine back in those days. I was learning from him from afar. If I were to go back in time, I would go to him and ask for a mentorship opportunity with him to teach me the way to go to where because he was the only Christian publisher in Ghana as at that time.
Okay.
He had done it multiple times, and he had a leading magazine in the country. So when I started, he was my reference point, but I did not go to him to ask for mentorship. So in addition to writing the vision down in a book, I would advise that you have mentors who can guide you. Your mentors can be in the same line of business or in the same line of creativity that you are. You cannot be higher than your mentor. Your mentor should be higher than you. Your mentor should be someone who is advanced in the areas that you want to be an expert in, so that you can learn from them. And then 3, consider your brand as a business.
Yeah.
From scratch. Think of it as a business from scratch. It's not a hobby. It's no longer something that you do for fun, but it's a business that you want to establish. And if you have this idea in mind, the way that you do it will be very different. You do not want to make your business look like it's something that you are playing or experimenting with. So again, write the vision, have mentorship, and think of your brand building as a business so that you can get the fundamentals from scratch. And every business has a business plan. If you are thinking of your brand as a business, then you need a business plan. What is your 10-year, 5-year business plan? What is your 2-year business plan? How do you intend to scale your business up? How do you intend to start your brand? And after all these things have been checked in, I'm sure there are other several things that will come along as you progress in your brand building experience.
Yeah, I think we will pick this question. This question is somebody said, please, my question is, can I have a mother brand name under the name I have a different names under mother brand name, which does not reflect the mother brand name? So I think he's trying to say that if, for example, my mother brand is Date Media, then I have maybe Tete Creative Academy instead of maybe Date Creative Academy. Is it fine that you have uh, another brand under it, which doesn't reflect to the mother brand? Yeah.
Okay, so that's allowed. There is no right or wrong when you are coining your name for your brand. But for most creatives, they want to be easily identified. You don't want to be identified with several names. So maybe there can be, let's say, New Page Productions. That can be the mother brand. Then there is New Page Media Productions. There is New Page Hype, New Page Magazine, and all the other sub brands that come under it. Others can have it differently. There's no right or wrong to that. You can, but you'd want people to easily associate you with something. Most people create different brands to create competition. So if there is Marriott Hotel and there is also another hotel, let's say Coke and Fanta, they all come from the same brand, but they've created that competition between Coke and Fanta themselves. So what I mean to say is that it is okay, entirely okay, to have different names for your brand. But then again, it has to be strategic. Why are you doing that? Do you want to, if someone is booking you for wedding films and the name is, let's say, Hans Peter Productions, and your photo production company for weddings is a New Page Photography. These two brands can be from the same mother company, but they have different names. So someone might book New Page photography for my wedding film. They pay me $2,000. They book Hans Peter for the video production. They pay Hans Peter $4,000. We together as a company we earn $6,000 versus New Page photos and videos. They would think that it's one company, so then give us a discount, give us something because we are paying one person or one company to handle everything for us. People are more likely to ask for discount when they know they are asking a service from one provider versus when there are multiple people involved. So at the end of the day, it comes down to your strategy. It comes down to how you want to operate your business. So there's no right or wrong in the how in the way that you identify your brand in the face of your audience.
Yeah. Thank you. I think our time is almost up. Let's take maybe additional 2 questions. If there is no question, then I'll let you give us your summary so that we can end it here.
Okay, sure. Thank you. There's a comment in the there's a comment in the chat box if you want to take it.
Yeah, I think it's asking, okay, in case you want me to share my thoughts or anything. Oh, okay. And that's the one we'll be taking tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, great. So if there are no other questions, I would say that I have learned a lot today from the questions that you submitted. And Dave, thank you for having me on. Audience, thank you so much for joining. It's been a good time with you. Today, we've learned about the various aspects of a brand. We've learned that branding is not just about logo designs, color palette development, or website building. Branding is not just a one-time deliverable, but branding is what your audience talk about or they gossip about when you are not in the room. When you leave them, the things you leave them talking about is your brand. We've talked about brand identity. We've talked about your brand value, your brand promise, your target audience, your brand statement, and your unique value propositions. And we moved on to talk about your ABT statement, which is your end but therefore statement that helps you tell your brand story in a way that your audience can easily associate you with. And when you are forming your brand name, make sure it's something that is meaningful and people can easily remember you with. Thank you again. This has been Dr. New Page, Richard Amako, and Dates. Thank you again for having me on. It's been a pleasure here today.
Wow. Please, let's give a handshake. Please, where you are. Let's give a handshake to Mr. Richard, Dr. New Page. We want to say thank you. God bless you. Myself, I have learned a lot. Like I have a lot here. And I want to say thank you. God bless you. Today I've learned new things. Yeah, your brand identity, what are you even promising them? And also your value, your story, your purpose, your statement. I like your statement. I'm going to work on it. And it's very, very good. We want to say God bless you. So we are about bringing our training for today's session to the end. Guys, let's take it from here. From today, you have to analyze your things, have your long-term goals, sit down and have your plan, as Mr. New Page said. If you have your plans, if you have your 10 goals, let your creative start in a business form. Start thinking about making it a business so that you know if it's a business, you start thinking about long-term goals, short-term goals. What are you thinking to do for like 10 years time, 5 years time? What is your brand? What story is your brand telling? And what are you doing for the brand to stand? There are people that they will start a brand and it will be like a year time, you can't hear the name again. Because I think I wanted to ask this question, but it skipped me. Now, if a brand is there and there is a lot of competition, for example, I'm in the land of UCC, I completed here in Ghana, then there is a lot of photographers here. I'm known to be dates. At least I'm known, but there's competition here. For example, it can be like, oh, my brand is doing very well. Then I took a contract, then I took this amount. Later, someone sent someone went there, say, oh, please, I can do the same thing for you, and I will take only this. What should I do? Should I still reduce the name of my brand and say, oh, okay, me too, I'll take maybe $5, then I'll go and take that contract? Maybe please end with that for me. I think some of them too will have that kind of challenge. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you. So people people will not pay you just for the service you provide them. They are also paying for the experience you give them.
Yeah.
And experience, the service can be the same. Someone can shoot a photo and give their client 20 edited high-end retouch photos. That's great. But when they are shooting with you, what is the experience you give them? How careful, how patient are you with them? The music you play when you are taking the photos in the studio. They come, they book you, you give them a seat, you give them a drink, you offer them water, you are patient with them, your conversations are clean. So that's the kind of experience that you can make your brand start with. Again, people are not paying you just for the product or the service. They are also paying for the experience you give them. The photo will be hanging on the wall. They are not only going to be remembered of the beautiful photo, but then, oh, okay, I booked date 24 hours to my shoot time. He called to remind me. 2 hours to the shoot time, he called again to give me directions to the studio. 30 minutes, he called to check if I was on my way. When I got there, I was 20 minutes late. Dave was not harsh, but he took me through his business modules. He still shot
Yeah.
with me again, and he said next time I should not be late again. He was not harsh with me. He was able to coach me and direct me very well. And me and my partner, we had a good time shooting with Date, and the pictures came out great. Again, the gossip they tell about you when you are not in the room, they're also
Wow.
paying for that.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's bringing, I think last 2 weeks, no, even just this Saturday, I was having pre-wedding shoots. We scheduled the time like 3 p.m. GMT here. Then when it was, I called before 3 to let them know that it was time. It's almost time. When I called, the lady said, I'm now going to do my makeups. And roughly Ghana, we are going to do a makeup roughly like 2 hours. So this means I have to throw my mind that we are going to do the shit around 6 p.m.
Right.
So you just brought in that how you can respond to a client relating to, oh, you want to maintain your brand. For example, I'm angry. I will not go and shoot it again because you've delayed me for like 5 hours. You didn't tell
Mm-hmm.
me that you were late. You've answered that part, but top it up, Kaka, for like, was is it
Okay.
that as a new brand, you have to have that kind of rules? How do you respond to that card so that maybe the name of your brand, and there are people that they don't maintain clients. They can have you for just a year. The next year, what they did for you, they will not do it for you. Like they will do something to sack you. So how do you maintain a client, and also how do you react to that kind of delay situation? They are all part of branding, guys. So
Yeah.
please, Kaka for
Okay.
us.
So there is something called session by session booking. If my studio is opened for, I am in my studio at the moment. This is where I do my photos and podcast and video productions. So if you book me for a session for 1 hour, you are being charged for the 1 hour shoot time. If you are late, you are still within the 1 hour time limit. And I make it clear in my TNCs that
Yeah.
if you are not here by X amount of time, your shoot might not be within that 1 hour. You have paid the commitment fee, all right, but I have to be nice about it.
Yeah.
So if someone else is waiting to shoot at 4 p.m. and you booked me for 2 p.m. and you are showing up at 3:30 p.m., I'm going to delay someone else for their shoot, and that person may not like it. So what I would do is that the moment you book me, I send you my TNCs, my Q&As, my questions and answers, what to do, what not to do. I make you sign something called a contract. For most of my bookings, I make you, even if it's a 1 minute shoot, even if it's for free, and I learned this lesson the hard way, I would make you sign a contract that
Okay.
the shoot time is within this time frame. Here's what I'm charging, and here are your deliverables, and here are the TNCs. If you are late and someone else is waiting to shoot, your shoot might be after the next available time slot that I'm not being booked for, because you've wasted 2 hours of my time that I could have charged $600 for. So if you have a client who's running late for their service, for your service, the moment you call them or they call you, let them know that you have other clients waiting on you. And their shoot time can no longer be around the 4 p.m. that they booked you for, because you're going to run late for your next appointment. Let them
Okay.
understand why you are choosing, and then offer them the possibility of shooting at a later time within the day. Next time, they will not come late. Next time, they are not going to show up late again. So you let them know why or how being late is going to impact your business and other clients that are waiting on you. And if someone is offering to charge lower than you are charging, and your client is waiting or is willing to pay for that low service, that is not your client. Stay put with your pricing. I charge very moderately. I do not compare my pricing to other photographers at all. I don't even ask how much other people charge. I charge
Yeah.
based on the service that I know I am producing or I'm giving my clients. So if I'm charging $300 for a 1 hour, one outfit photo shoot, and I know that I'm going to give you 35 photos that are batch edited, and I'll give you 6 photos that are high end retouched. Someone might charge $200. They are not going to give you batch edits. They're going to give you just 2 or 5 high end retouched photos. You can go to them. That's perfect. Great. But when you come to me, even though I did not charge you for reels, I'm going to add up reels to that.
Yeah.
So if you do not want to pay that amount of money, reducing the amount, and again, I believe the pricing session will talk more about this tomorrow. So I don't want to eat into that conversation. But again,
Yeah. So
do
we'll be
not
pricing.
do not bring down your pricing. It's going to hurt your brand in the long run, because when the client goes out, they are going to gossip that they paid this amount of money.
Yeah.
Again, branding is the gossip that your audience share when you're not in the room. Oh, Dave, he charged me $200 or 200 cedis. He wanted to charge 400 cedis, but I massaged the thing and now he's charging me. So what is he going to do with the extra 200? So you can take 200 and you wanted to charge me 400. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Then later, other people are booking you expecting the same amount of money that you charged the previous client. So don't reduce your service charge.
Oh,
You can give
oh wow,
discounts.
guys.
You can give
Yeah.
discounts and make it known that this is your first time discount that I'm offering you, or family and friends discounts, or I have what I call the pretty woman discount. Most times, like,
Ish.
okay,
It's fine.
oh, just for showing up on time and you look pretty, I give you a 10% discount. That's just by the way. Yeah.
Okay. I think tomorrow there is a lot of questions there, guys. Let's put it about pricing. I know you people have pricing questions. Why should I explain the amount I'm charging you? Like these questions are there for tomorrow. So guys, put your questions about pricing there, and I believe tomorrow we will answer all those questions. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dave, I want
Okay.
I want to make sure we responded to everybody. Can you double check the Q&As and make sure we had everybody's questions answered?
For now, no question at the queue. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
there's no
All
question.
right then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So guys, thank you for joining us. Let your brand stand out. Do all these things we've mentioned, your purpose, everything. If you don't start thinking about it, your creative skill will become just a hobby doing for them. what makes you stand out? What makes you stand out? Your brand. How do you even make your client feel? Sometimes I remember after shooting Saturday's the pre-wedding shoot, the wife said, anyway, my husband was giving the contract to somebody, but I want him to give it to you. Because how you will make the clients feel, it's not like I'm not saying go and be a comedian, but I already had a poses, everything for them. And it's all like we didn't spend more than 1 hour, but they felt like it was a shoot they were doing. So please, you will have a unique thing. You didn't even book for reels, but after that, I gave them reels. So try to have unique thing, or sometimes yours is you deliver early. Not like you are delivering early and it's not quality, but you deliver early with quality. That's one of your uniqueness. So if you want your brand to stand out, let's think about uniqueness. I have some kind when I shoot program shot for you. After giving you the link or the form of the pictures, I will do summary of the pictures in a group way. That's so other people, if I don't give it out, they will ask, so today you didn't give us. First, I thought they didn't like it. But now I feel like they saw it something that I attach to it when I'm giving you the pictures. So find your uniqueness, something that will let you stand out. And I think that will follow up with the pricing. Tomorrow we'll go into it more. So please, if you want to enjoy what you did today, I think when you go to our YouTube channel, Date Media, you can have all the videos there, what we are saying, and you can watch it again. And we have it, I think we were streaming live on TikTok too. So our TikTok people are not giving any question. I think they are just liking. They are not giving any question there. So guys, thank you for joining us. We have a lot for you. Don't leave tomorrow and enjoy what will be coming. And every month or once a time, there will be training like this. Don't miss it. We are all learning, and I believe by the grace of God, one day we all will get to where we have to get to. So guys, enjoy and take whatever we shared today and start it now. Procrastination, if you want to procrastinate everything as a creative, then 20 years time, you can't do anything. So discipline yourself and start now. And I believe everything will be. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone, Mr. Richard, Dr. New Page. God richly bless you. To my team, George, Philippa, the guys, and also thank you to Daniel. I want to say God bless you for everybody that tried. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, then. Signing off. Thank you and have a great day.
So I'm going to open it. Guys, you can say hi before you leave. Just say hi before you leave, or you can just say it on the chat. We are leaving the page. So just 1 minute, say hi before you leave. Or you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
You can unmute yourself. Yeah. Oh, guys, thank you, Daniel. Yeah. Oh,
Mr.
hello,
Daniel.
guys. Yeah, before you leave, just say hi to us. And you can say thank you to our speaker, our facilitator. Say
Thank you
something
very
to him.
much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Let's continue this day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you too. Yeah. Just say something before you leave. Or say something. We have just 1 minute to leave. Redeemer, thank you. Oh, I can
God
see
bless
all.
you, bosses.
Oh, Frederick, thank you. Thank you. Oh, just say hi. We are leaving. Oh, please don't forget to share the
God
video.
bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
God bless you.
Amen. God bless you.
Please don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be great. So please don't forget to share 6 p.m. GMT in Ghana time. Yeah. Okay. Mr.
All right.
Richard, God bless
Okay.
you.
God bless you.
Bless.
Then.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you shared to us today. I'm really blessed to have I have them here and it's a lot. God bless you. God
God
bless you.
bless you. All right then.